Everybody's good. Hope everybody's good, good, good. Stop this real quick. Stop that real quick. What's good with y'all, man? Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's been good lately. I ain't really been on YouTube too much. If you guys want to interact more with me, I'll be doing sometimes the TikTok thing. So come say what's up. What's up with it? What's up with it, man? Hope everybody's blessed. But go show me some love on TikTok, homie. I've been talking a lot of sports over there. 5280 Entertainment. What's good with it? What's good with it, Red? How you doing, bro? All right, salute. So I want to address this real quick. Last week we were on the Dummy Dodging show, the Hump Day extravaganza, the adventure. We got into discussion, right? And it was about and this was a general conversation we were having, homie. It's about youngsters pretty much getting into gang life and not really knowing what they're actually banging for. And then banging for a cause that um they're not really part of the cause because pretty much the energy they're putting out there is directed at certain organizations and neighborhoods in the city, and they don't really even come across them dudes to have hatred. Uh, so first and foremost, the homie had hit me up from Damu. And he hit me up and he said it probably wasn't a good time to discuss that because one of the little fools that got killed, he from Damu, right? And I agree with that, man. You know what I'm saying? I apologize to the family or whatever, because there was a couple people on the homie's reaction video, and they were kind of mad. They're his family. I get it, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, maybe it wasn't the right time to talk about that situation. Um, but I guess when I look at this aspect, homie, I look at this aspect that hits home because it's a recent situation um, that happened in our city, right? What up, Big Mike? What's good with you, brother? Some fool got knocked off. He didn't get knocked off in the city. He got knocked off in another city, and basically they had to send his body back to Denver, right? And the individual we're talking about, he was a full-fledged banger, homie, a full-fledged gangbanger. Comes with the territory. And I see a lot of people painting the picture that some of these individuals that get knocked off, that they were angels out here, that they were just humble peacemakers. When the reality is, you got to call a spade sometimes, homie. If you putting bad energy into the world, you're going to get bad energy back. That's why I stopped putting bad energy into the world, homie. Because when I was putting bad energy into the world, I would have bad karma. And my bad energy got me a lot of negative things in my later years where I had to break out of ruts, homie. I had to break out of toxicness because of decisions I decided to put out there when I was younger. Now, I seen a couple people on the homies comment section, and they were pretty mad about it. They were pretty angry about the situation. And I agree. And it was no disrespect towards the family. It was a discussion to try to open up youngsters' eyes to the severity of gang problems and what the outcome can be. Because this individual, he played with fire and he got burned. He got killed because of the negativity that he put out to the world. And that's what comes with the life, homie. There's no benefit to that life, that aspect. Now, I seen people talk about this, bro, and it's always bias when there's people's family involved, right? People will throw a blind eye to activities, and I seen it even with my own homies, bro. When people like somebody, even if they putting out crazy activities that's not good, the homies, and this is what we call selective politicking to you fools that don't really know. People will throw a blind eye to the bad things in individuals if they like them, homie. That means even if they're doing some scandalous stuff out there and they're not pushing a right way in the aspect that you're supposed to be pushing with this code in the street life, a lot of fools, peoples will just be like, nah, that's cool. That's the homie, bro. Like wrong or right or indifferent, they won't never call out their homies, and they'll throw a blind eye to it. But then have an opinion on what's supposed on go on in the world and this thing we call the street life. Street life is overrated, bro. Like all these fools that push this narrative of the street life, bro, it's overrated because there's no code to anything, homie. You can blatantly do anything you want in the streets. Snitch. You could be a fool that messes with homosexuals. Seen it many a times. You could be a fool that's just no morals, no values, running young fools to the grave because your ulterior motive for putting fools on is what the little fools can do for you. No love for little homies. You'll run these fools to a grave, homie. You won't even show these fools the ropes to actually be successful. And you know deep down you're doing that because you don't have love for these little fools, bro. It's all about what they can gain you, bruh. And people will acknowledge that shit. And they'll know them big homies, the OG homies are doing that shit to the youngsters, and they'll still validate them fools and say that's right, homie. And when a real fool calls it out, fools don't like that shit. But I've been an example of the little homie running myself to the grave for the older homies. And really, reality, bro, is there's no love. The young fools gotta understand that. Your older homies that think they love you. You think they love you, bruh? They don't love you. I'll be the first to tell you. When I had little homies, to be honest, after a while, bro, after all the heartache and just the heartache of the hood, I didn't have love for the younger homies, fool. It's all about what you gonna do for the hood. The hood comes before your feelings. So if you gonna run yourself to the grave and take penitentiary risk for this turf shit, that's what you gonna do. It comes with trying to be a part of this gang life. And that's the reality. That's hardcore facts. Homie, your big homies could tell you that they love you, but love comes with action, bruh. A big homie that tells you, yeah, join the hood, homie. We need you for the set. Instead of go to school, get your education. That's a real homie that loves you, bro. Start building businesses. That's a real homie that loves you. Stay away from that bullshit. Play sports. That's the homies that love you. Not these fools that have ulterior motives, bruh. It comes with the game. Like, that's what we ain't telling these youngsters, homie. It comes with the game, bruh. You on your own you on your own when it comes to this gang banging shit. The big homies don't care. Like they gonna live their life. When you go put in work for the set, you think your big homies is gonna be there to write you letters? You think your big homies is gonna be there to send money for you can get canteen to get some bars of soap on that prison yard? Hell nah, bro. Hell nah. And that was the point with that conversation about that dude. His big homies didn't lace his shoelaces right. Because this is the thing, bro. This is the thing. When it comes to gang banging, especially with Dom moves and keyways, homie, and all you fools could listen to this. This is reality. Dom moves and keyways, the roots of shit don't even bang in California no more, homie. Crips and Bloods do not even trip with each other anymore like that. That was some 90s shit. You got Crips killing Crips and Bloods killing Bloods, homie. That's the reality, homie. That's how backwards gang banging is, especially with keyways and Dom moves. You got Crips and Bloods that link up as friends to beef with other Crips. So the biggest enemies is fools from your own organization. Let's break this down to the max, bruh. Y'all want some real reality? So my thing is when I see fools out here in the city of Denver pushing like they pushing this whole war on, if you a blood, you pushing the whole war on the Crips and you get CKs tatted on you, right? You are mistaken because your big homies, they're not even like that. Big homies ain't all about pushing that narrative. It's all about man for they self. I'll tell you like this, and this is the reality, homie, from both sides. There's not one loke that I know in the last 5 years that got chipped off by the Don Moves. There's not, and even with the Don Moves, how many bloods was dying in the last 3, 4 years? It wasn't by the hands of the Crips. It was by your own homies, bruh. The Crips were dying by their own homies. The Bloods were dying by their own homies. We didn't even have to watch for fools on the other side. You got to watch for fools from your own hood, bruh. So that's the reality. So when you get these CKs on you and BKs on you, you're doing it because you think you're making a statement, homie, which you're backwards, bro. You're getting tattoos that really don't have no bearing on what's going on in this aspect. And then this is another thing is, homie, when you get tattoos, and this was my whole point about that shit. When you get tattoos, CKs and BKs and NKs and SKs, you're making a statement that you're pushing a full-on war to the organization, hatred. So there's no pass on. If you see one of them fools from the other side, you get off immediately. When you get tattoos like that, you're making statements, bruh. There's no all we're in a public place and you know what I'm saying? Like there was security over here and security. Nah, bro, you get them tattoos, you push that line. And what I was saying is when you seen this dude seen me at the gym, I pressed homie. I got up on that fool. Like, what's up, cuz? What's cracking? You tripping with the homie? P? If you want to get down to the whole situation, I tripped on him over something else, bruh. And he was immediately supposed to punch me in my mouth. If you have tattoos like that, there ain't no, oh, that fool was big and this. You got shit that you want to represent. You should have punched my lights out. There's no excuse on that shit. So when I see that shit and you get that shit tatted after, you're making a statement because I'm a trophy in this shit, bruh. That's what my whole point was. I'm not trying to disrespect that fool. But if that's what your narrative, there's no letting me there. If you riding for that shit, when you see me, it's on site, terminate on site, bro. You supposed to get off. And when I see them tattoos after the fact that you see the loke and we pressed your ass, you didn't get off. It makes me look at you totally different, homie. When I see that shit in music videos and all this shit, bro, and then I hear songs. I heard a song where this fool disrespecting the whole G and the whole Crip car. And when he was in front of the real lokes, he just chilled peacefully. And that was my whole point, bruh. None of that CK riding. There was no CK riding with you. There was none of them activities. And that's all I was saying, bro. That's why we have to put a good life for the young people, bro. Because if we don't speak the facts on me and we don't learn by other people's experiences, you're going to have multiple people, young kids that think that shit is cool. When they look at that music, bro, they going to think that shit is cool. Not knowing that's a false narrative in that music. So that was the whole point of the whole situation, bro. Like that's craziness, bro. That is wild, bro. Another thing is too is what we don't talk about at all is when you hit that prison yard, bro, the Bloods and the Crips actually, there's times that they chill together. So you acting like you really tripping out here. You tripping on some lokes or you tripping on the Dom moves if you a Crip. And then when you get to prison, bro, these fools is actually, they're peacemaking. There's none of that hatred. They're not going to war on the yard. Them fools ain't getting off on each other on the yard. So you think you pushing the narrative in the streets, and then when you get to prison, it's a whole culture shock. I seen the homies break money with the Dom moves. I seen them fools on the yard, bro, eat spreads with the Dom moves. So you look at that shit like, damn, I thought all this CK and BK shit was a real thing fools was pushing. But when you get on that yard, everybody's peaceful, bro. And my whole thing is too, bro, if you don't even see your enemies, if you don't see your enemies that you're tripping with, what's the point of getting tattoos like that? You ain't never even been in no set trip with no lokes, bro. You ain't never even got in a bang session with no lokes, bro. Your homies ain't dying behind the lokes because they don't even know who your set is. That's all I was saying, bro. It was no disrespect, you know. But sometimes you got to state the facts, bro, and just the truth. You really have to like open up people's eyes, and sometimes it's nitty and gritty, and it's a messed up situation because people dying behind some shit that they really think that they're pushing and they're not. The gangbanging shit is it's garbage, bro. It's garbage. It's garbage. You know. And out here, especially in the town, bro. Out here, especially in the town. I don't want to come. I don't really want to come. I don't really want to come off like in no disrespectful way. But this is the reality, bro. If you ain't from the '90s, bro. If you ain't from the '90s and you were not in the points or Park Hill, you really don't know what the extreme of fools dying in a war because them two sides, the east side and Park Hill, they got casualties, bro. Both of them fools got casualties from each other going all the way back to the '90s, meaning that this war popped off forever. These fools was knocking each other off. Fools in the hood got knocked off from them fools. So there's a hatred there, a real hatred, because you got family members that done died by the hands of different people, right? But when you go to the West, bro, you got your own realities over there, bro. You don't see Crips in the West, so why would you get CKs when you never see these dudes? That's my whole thing too. When you go to Commerce City, you don't see Crips over there. Why would you get CKs? What's the reasoning? Like, get the fools that you beef with whacked out. Get the G's whacked out because that's who you fools beef with over there. You don't see Crippin' in the West Side, bro. So why would you get that shit? The Crips don't even know who you are. There's not one fool from the East Side that's got knocked off by some West Side Don moves, bro. That's the reality. And when you get CKs and BKs like that, you're making statements. That's what you're doing. That's all I was saying, bro. It was no disrespect because I'm not into disrespecting. But I just found the narrative in the situation funny because I just seen a song, and the song is called Rab Murder Gang from the Fool, right? I seen that song. I heard it. And the whole song, he's disrespecting Crippin, right? And this was before even he got the CKs, right? So that means that he was pushing that narrative for a long time. And you already know the ones that are not the real active ones is when they really try to push that they're really bodying shit. There's not one Crip that even I know is laying behind them fools. So when I look at it, bro, and I was in the gym, and this is the shit that cracked me up. Because when I look at that shit and I'm in the gym and I walk up on a fool and I'm trying to see what the temperature is, he was supposed to immediately get off on me, especially pushing that narrative. There's no, we're in the gym. Like, if you really pushing that, you supposed to get off anywhere, everywhere. I don't give a care where you are. Punch me in my mouth. Because if you're really pushing Crip K riding, bro, and that's what you about, if you know me, you know that we are on that all the way. So you would have got my respect. But turning all the way down, being like, that's not even my problem. That's PAC's problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's PAC's problem. It's not even no gang shit. Like, it made me look at that shit different. And then telling my big homie, calling my cousin on Facebook and saying, your big cousin, he got to tripping at the gym. But you, this whole time, you're pushing, you riding on the Crips. So what makes, when I look at that shit, why, that makes me look at the whole situation as funny made. And then you get CKs on your eyes. And this is directed towards the people that may know homie, that got a little irritated with the conversation. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying, bro. The sad part about it is, bro, when it boils down to this whole shit, homie got killed. And this is why I feel like some people were sensitive because he just died. He didn't even die in the city of Denver, though. He died in Detroit. So it makes me realize he went out to Detroit in a backyard that's not his, and he got into it with some fools that he shouldn't have got into it with. And he got popped. He's not here no more. He got kids, bro. He left kids and all kinds of stuff over trying to paint this to push this narrative that he's just the hardest fool out there, right? And the gang that he's from can't even, they didn't put up money to get him back to the States, bro. So why is fools banging this if your gang ain't even gonna help your peoples get you back to the funeral? It's watered down. Gang banging's watered down, bro. Gang banging's watered down, bro. It's a sad situation. I gave 30 plus years to gang banging, homie. I got put on the set when I was 13 years old. I started prospecting for the set when I was 13 years old, all the way up to my adult years, fully active as a teenager. I turned 18 immediately. I caught attempted murders, bro. Fighting for my life. I mean to tell you, when you're fighting for your life as a youngster, you don't have nobody to bail you out. You see the reality of what it is, especially when your life's in the hands of people and they could put you away forever, bro, because you're a minority, you're Spanish. Plus, you have the gang activity in your history. They're gonna try to make an example. The mental fuck gymnastics of that shit, bro. And they're going to prison at an early age and politicking in prison, gangbanging, fully active, still in prison. And you see the homies doing crazy shit that you don't agree with. You see, and I'm not gonna break all that shit down, but you see your own homies be the most scandalous, and you be like, damn, this is not what I really signed up for. Because I live by morals and values. This is not what I really signed up, but you're still so loyal to the shit. You're blinded by your loyalty. And you're pretty much, you're fending off your own homies because everybody, especially with the lokes, you can't just be a loke and be comfortable in prison. You're gonna be fighting your own homies because everybody they ain't gonna agree with this shit and they ain't gonna agree with that shit. And there's so much separation with this shit. So you see a shit in a different light, bruh. The fools I had to worry about the most in prison was other lokes, bro. It wasn't even Bloods. It really wasn't even Sudanos. It wasn't nobody but the lokes, bro. And I'm fighting for this cause, homie. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the reality, and that's all I was trying to say. Like, it was no disrespect, because I'm not into disrespecting anybody, homie. You know what I'm saying? I'm 40 years old. Like I said, I put 30 plus years into gangbanging, homie. Something that I fucking loved and had a passion when I was young. And 40 years old now, barely understanding, I threw my life away for a cause that it really didn't do anything for me, bruh. But give me prison time, get shot up, multiple friends dying, family members dying. You know what I'm saying? Like, no joy in that life, homie. I literally am mentally messed up behind gangbanging, bro. Like, I'm not even normal, homie. Like, I don't go into society and be peaceful, bro, because my mental is so messed up behind just gangbanging. I see everything in the gangbanging aspect still. If I see somebody coming down the block and they look a certain way, bro, I'm already PTSD on edge, homie. I live like that every single day because my whole life was like that. When I hear loud shit out of my window and it sounds like some fools might be from the hood, I'm already on standstill. Like, who the fuck is on the block? I don't know who's on the block. And then another thing is too, trying to be a peaceful civilian now. It eats me up every day when I don't handle business. And when I say handle business, disrespect in the littlest manner, bro. When the fools out here and we got the apartments and fools are being loud, I want to go just sock a fool in their mouth, like, shut the hell up. You don't see people live here? But you can't do that. You can't do that. But that's just me. And that's what the gang life in that mentality has brought. You know what I'm saying? It's a program, homie. And youngsters, you don't want that shit. Deep down, you fools don't want that shit. You don't want to be programmed by an environment. You don't want to be imprisonated, even when you're not in prison, with a mental that kills you and drains you, homie. You don't want that shit. You know what I'm saying? So 2025, I'll say this once again, 2025 is not the years to gangbang. Being in a gang in 2025 is probably the lamest shit you can do because 2025 is considered the snitch era. So if you get put on in 2025, and it even started before that, you are considered a fool that got put on in the snitch era. We didn't used to snitch back in the day. I mean, people were snitching, but that it was not as prevalent as it is now. Another thing is too, bro, and I know people ain't gonna want to hear this. Yo, big homies on the yard, homie. All I seen it with every single organization, and I don't care who gets mad. Every organization, your big homies, I'm sorry to tell you, if they doing more than 10 to 20 years to be 100, I seen it with every organization. Big homies start going down the road of messing with homosexuals in prison out here. You know what I'm saying? In DOC in Colorado. I know many big homies that were respected in the hood that got 15 to 20 years, bro, or more, and they started messing with the homosexuals. And you know what other fools say about that shit, bro? Oh, bro, you know what I'm saying? They're doing a lot of time. They throw a blind eye to that shit. And then you're like, bro, this fool was such a solid fool. He was such a solid fool. Now this fool's, he's messing with homosexuals. He's messing with Skittles over here. This fool got Skittles on the yard. And the cold part about it is fools will still ride this fool's coattail. And if you say, hey, homie, nah, I don't fuck with that shit. I don't mess with the homosexuals, bro. I'm not lying. No, that's not cool. You a gangster. You supposed to hold hands on them toes, bro. You will get persecuted and pushed out. Other homies will ride this fool's coattail, homie, and you'll be banging with these fools because you spoke up on that shit. Now, I don't care what people do with that homosexual thing. I'm not for it. But when you a gangster, bro, and you on them yards and you supposed to be holding you supposed to be holding it solid, there's no excuse to be messing with homosexuals. I'm sorry to say. There's no excuse to snitch. There's not one reason you ever should snitch. I don't care if the homies done mess with your baby's mom, and I don't care if they kidnapped you, and I don't care if they beat you up. I don't care if they shot you, and you don't get no right. There's no excuses for that shit, but you'll have fools that vouch for that shit, bro. You'll have fools that, and that's what 2025 brings, bro. It's the reality, homie. That's why I couldn't see myself after 30 plus years of banging, going another day trying to fight for something it's never going to be a win for me. You could call me a sellout all you want, because my reality, it's not like other people's reality, bro. If I catch another felony, I'm going for a life sentence behind a street code that's not there no more. You other little dudes ain't even kicked up no dust and don't have a resume behind your fucking names. And y'all fools are the first to tell when you ain't even hit a bid, bro. You can't even handle 5 years, 5 to 10 years. You gonna go snitch right away. And don't tell me, oh, I won't. If you're never in that situation and you don't know if you'll snitch or not, don't say you won't, because you're liable to snitch, bro. That's the bottom line, because 2025 is not built off of solidness, bro. Your favorite rappers, the ones you look up to, are snitching, homie. And you fools are riding that shit on this murder thing because they talking about murdering, bro. And these fools are the ones that snitching. They leading you fools astray, homie. They leading you fools astray. And then when real riders talk about this shit, people get offended. But I'm not here to cater your feelings, homie. Like, I'd say it like this. This is the reality, bro. I'd rather be a square, work a 9 to 5, be free, be with my wife, go eat whatever I want, enjoy the holidays, go fish in the summer, enjoy the luxury of freedom, than be a gangster with some credibility that don't even matter and go do another prison bid, fool. Another prison bid. I'll never go back to prison. Never. Because if I was to kick up dust, bro, I'm going out with the cops. They gonna have to kill me. I'm not going back to the penitentiary. So I won't even put myself in that predicament, bro. I won't put myself in that predicament ever again, homie. I'd rather be a man that fears God, homie, and just trying to live normal. A civilian, homie. Call it what you want. I'm a civilian, bro. And I look at the young fools, I look at the youngsters, I look at the youngsters, bro, and the way gangbanging is now, homie, it sucks. It's garbage. My homie Who Ride always says this. Gangbanging now is garbage, bro. There's no loyalty. There's no honor, homie. That's what we used to live off of, honor and loyalty and morals and values. You know, do you guys even know what that means, youngsters? That think that shit is cool. Do you even know what that is? No, because there's none of that shit going on in the streets. None of it. There's no loyalty. There's no honor. There's no morals and values no more, bruh. There's not even hoods no more, homie. Even in different areas that you think is most hood, they regentified all the hoods. So what hood are you really banging if you ain't even been to the hood? If you ain't been to the hood when the hood was the heart, what are you banging for? You're banging for what? You ain't even been to the hood. You ain't even stepped in them concrete jungles when the hood was the heart. And in Denver, homie, like I love my city. We don't got hoods no more, homie. They're all regentified. You fools are banging for some shit that came before you and is gone now, bro. You know why the hoods make sense back in the day, right? Even with the hoods in California, right? Because the hood was a neighborhood. It was all about the love of the neighborhood, the family. Neighborhood watchouts, protecting the neighborhoods. Even in the east side of Denver in the projects, we were all one big family in the projects, right? Hoods grew up with each other, bro. My homie always says this, and this is the reality, homie, is when I was growing up, he says this. He could put his life in the hands of his homies because he knew them fools were going to actually, they had the best interest for him. He never had to second guess who was going to tell or try to kill him in his own hood. That's not no more, bro. 2025 doesn't breed that shit no more. You go to the east side, there ain't no hood over there, bro. Like, we love the hood because we're from there. Like, that will always be our hood, the points. You go over there and it's nothing but white folks, bro. Nothing but white folks. They walking on your block, bro. And there ain't nobody, they're not going to check these dudes. I literally was at Curtis Park and some fool, we were having a function with our family and the homies, right? And some fool was at the Curtis Park writing tagging on the table, not from this city, bro. I literally got pissed. I said, hey, bro, you know where you're writing? You know people died right here, right? You know what this park is, bro? You know the historical 5 points? Why you writing on my motherfucking bench, bro? And he looked at me like, I didn't even know. Yeah, bro. You didn't know. You didn't know, homie. So don't do that shit, bro. I don't care if you're in the park, but don't ride on these benches, homie. You don't even know how many people died in this park. You know what I'm saying, bro? So that's my thing is, bro. Like, no disrespect to the young fool that died. I was just making a point. Fools are dying behind beliefs and an agenda that they don't really have no point of being in. Fools are dying behind some organization shit that it done past them. 2025, the Damus and the Keyways are not even the organizations to be actually getting a part of. Even in California, bro, a lot of the older fools say that they wish they never even created that shit, bro. Out here, I know fools is drained from the Keyways and Damus, both sides. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a reality check, homie, and that's the low to something that will never be loyal. You could ask my wife, homie. I'm a type that puts my heart out to my homies. I mean, if you know Sev and you know me, you know you get a rider in all your problems. Meaning, if you got beef with somebody and I'm chilling, you call me, I'm pulling up. We banging it out, bro. I'm not going to let the homies be in danger. You call me, I got a pistol, it's my only one, and you need that, I'm giving it to you. That comes with liabilities, though, because if you get into some trouble, I'm liable to get in trouble behind your bullshit. But I never left the homies empty-handed. Never. I created. You didn't have a spot to go to. My wife and me would open my doors to all the homies. All the time. My little homies lived with us for a big time. after I got out of prison. I'm talking about a whole house full of little homies at the crib all the time. You know what that got me? Little homies stealing, little homies bad mouthing, little homies disrespecting the spot, bringing warfare to the porch. And you know what it is? When you're banging, you got a responsibility to that. So whatever comes with it, comes with it. I signed up for that shit. Little homies bad mouthing me and my family, bro, because I literally called them out on some bullshit. Like, nah, bro, you need to get a job. Nah, fools don't want to be a part of no real positivity. But I'm not gonna sit around either and allow a fool run himself to the grave, bro. I'm gonna tell you, bro, get on your mental and your fitness, homie. And fools don't like that shit, you know. And that's the truth, homie. That's the truth. That's the reality, man. Cheers. So just to make it clear one more time, man. No disrespect to that dude. You know, I just had to speak up on that shit, bro. And it was a heat of the moment, homie, because it's a sad situation. Because that dude probably had a lot of potential to make something of his life, but he focused on being so raw, 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 raw. Everything was raw, 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 bro. Like who really is out here really making songs like banging on wax still? Nobody is. I don't even think the fools that are really just fully activated, bro, ain't making songs of banging on wax, bro, because that's not what fools are doing. Fools are trying to find ways out, bro, and these fools is like trying to involve themselves and be too involved with some shit that died out a long time ago, bro. That's just mind blowing to me, man. But yeah, nah, I hope everybody's good. I had to speak up on that, man. I had to come say what's up. Plus, I had to say what's up to the community, bro, because I haven't been on YouTube. I've been on TikTok. I've been on TikTok doing a lot of sports things and stuff, man. So if you guys are on TikTok, go follow me, 5280 Entertainment. I just be messing around over there, man. Um, I just be messing around to be honest. But I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate everybody. I gotta speak that shit. The same way we should link up next summer. Let's do it. Let's do it, man. Yeah, yeah. You know. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I got a passion for helping the youngsters, man. Like I seen this thing from Chicago last night, homie, and this resonated with a lot of things in my life, homie. A lot of things in my life, bro. There was a young dude that was 10 years old, homie. 10 years old in Shawtown, bro. There's no chance for that little dude, bro. Like he was already on the block. He was on the block at 10 years old, homie. The older fools around him, it was just basically okay, bro. Like it was just something that was normal, homie. Something that was normal. When I was young, it was normal to me to be around older fools. It was normal, homie. Being around 13, 12, 13 years old, it was normal, homie. That was normalized, bro. And when you take a casualty and you take casualties, bro, you feel like that's the only way out is to be activated for the neighborhood that you are, loyalty to the hood. We got to stop normalizing that shit, bro. We have to as a community and people in these hoods, bro. Like you got to stop normalizing young fools being involved with that shit, man. Let a youngster like have a chance to like actually be successful. Like push them little fools towards sports. There's no reason. Like if you're so, and I know it's gonna sound crazy, but if you're so gung ho to have numbers, that's what it is. A lot of fools need these numbers in these neighborhoods. If you're so gung ho to have numbers, bro, and that's your whole focus is to make the neighborhood as many members, you gotta really check them priorities, homie. Because even with that, even when we were mission to grow the hood, bro, you don't even know who you're bringing in the neighborhood no more. Because I'll go back to the initial thought. The hoods are regentified, so you didn't grow up with these fools. You don't know who you're bringing in the hood. You don't even know who you bring into the hood no more, bro. You call in a stranger. 2025 is full of strangers in these hoods. These fools didn't grow up with each other. You taking a big risk to put fools on your neighborhood, bro. You taking a big ass risk. You don't know if you bringing in a pedophile. You don't know if you bringing in some snitching to the hood. You don't know, you know what I'm saying? Like this fool don't know your hood. Like you're bringing in these fools that are just, they're not your everyday fools. Look what happened with 6ix9ine, bro. Look what happened with that fool 6ix9ine. These fools allowed this dude to bang their politics. And they really, I don't know what they thought, but they're bringing in a total civilian and he snitched off everybody over there. Their fault. They shouldn't have that fool around them. But in that sense, he really thought that he had some protection, that he was paving his way into gangbanging. And that's what we have, people paying their way into gangbanging, man. You know, that shit's wild, bro. Classic. Yeah, hell no, it can't be. It can't be. It can be, homie. It will never go back to what it was either. Never go back to what it is. Never go back to what it is. There's been too much disconnect to the reality, bro. Everybody let everything infiltrate neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? Everybody did. Everybody knows that was a part of gangbanging, bro. It was all about family, bro. Like that's who you were in war with. That's who you loved, homie. Your brotherhood, your brothers. Nowadays, bro, you can't even consider anybody your brother. You can't even consider them little fools your brother. You can't consider the fools over here your brother. And fools is really going to the deathbed for that shit. You know, they going to the deathbed all the way for that shit, mommies. What up, big dog? What's cracking with you, Brody? Hope everybody's good, man. Yeah, nice, definitely. Shout out to the chat, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody out there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but Mall High salute. Hope everybody has a beautiful day. I'm back to it, man. I just been recouping, bro. Like recouping the mindset, homie. If I do come back to YouTube eventually down the road and I start doing like normal material, normal content, I want to be at the best mentally. I have a lot of people asking for some recommended videos. I have to, you know what I'm saying, put a memo out there. I kind of took a stand back and kind of separated myself from YouTube. I'm doing a little bit of sports things. But TikTok, I've been on there a little bit more, so go check me out, 5280 Entertainment, man. I talk about different things. I even talk about some Denver things, you know. But when I do come back later, a little bit later down the road, we're gonna be all the way straight. You know what I'm saying? Like all the way on point with the content. And appreciate everybody that's still around, homie. Appreciate all you guys that still show love, man. I got a lot of people still hitting me up with recommended videos. I know I was watching something last night, Lanes, and they said that there's a lot of gangbanging out there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know the politics. I really don't know. But it's mind blowing, homie, how, you know, you go to a different city and get killed in another city, bro. Like that's wild to me. I don't try to go to other people's city, bro, and still be in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I try to stay away from. If I go out to another city, I'm trying to be just a tourist. You know, it's crazy. You don't get knocked off in your own backyard. You get knocked off in somebody else's backyard. What up with it, man? Pushing your stuff. Hadn't been. Yeah, man. You know, and that's another thing is too. Another thing is, bro, and why I made that main decision to kind of like separate myself and it don't have nothing to do with the subscribers or people that show me love, bro, because I got major love for everybody that's been around. But YouTube, they got on some straight hoe shit, bro. They stopped my whole flow of the channel, which means notifications to my original subs, bro. Notifications to the original subs. They weren't going out. Nobody was getting notifications, bro. They stopped the algorithm tremendously. I know like five, six, seven people that be like, bro, are you even doing videos anymore? And I'm like, bro, I just did a couple videos. Yeah, we ain't getting notifications. So YouTube made it extremely hard for me to even be motivated to do YouTube. And that's kind of why I took a step back. So what I'm doing is hopefully I'll taking a break, bro. When I come back, it'll clear some things up and you know what I'm saying? And YouTube will give the channel another chance. Plus, I always say this too, and we just seen it. Damn, I'm about to explode. We just seen it. A lot of people on these social media sites, they be getting pissed, bro, and and sometimes just for you don't crash out on these dudes. Sometimes you just got to kind of like step back for you don't go off and just go crazy on these dudes that just hate. Sometimes I feel like just being hella disrespectful, bro, to some of these dudes that cry about the littlest things too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like just going in. But then again, I don't want that energy either, bro. I'm not here to push like bad energy. But man, to the homies, bro, to everybody out there, I get messages all the time with somebody mad about something. With like, I'll turn on my YouTube studios and I'll have like 20 messages from people that are just upset, are mad about something. And they really pissed. I'm talking about like, bro, you said something about the hood and you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like tripping. I'm like, fool, first off, you really got triggered behind that. Second of all, if you want to tell your story, make a YouTube channel and tell us about your history. You know what I'm saying? Getting them messages just was kind of tired of it. And my initial thing is to just get disrespectful. So I just kind of just chilled back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jess. That's what I'm saying, bro. Like YouTube be tripping, fam. It really be tripping. To be honest, bro, I really don't like YouTube drama and the toxicness of YouTube. I really don't. Because I'm not really a social media type individual. I don't like to be on social media tripping with everybody, bro, over different things. But it comes with the territory. You already know kind of that's what you're gonna get. There's only so much a person could do before a person says something though, too. I always revert back to this. When I was doing the regular content and I was doing the regular content, it was out of love for every different unit, different neighborhood, different clique, tagging crews, just the Denver Metro in general. I tried to show love to everybody, bro, from all sides, from every area, and not be biased. So it was out of genuine love for the city, the Denver Metro, the Box State. Got to have love for the city, but instead of people seeing it like that, they think that you slander their neighborhoods, and people really be getting pressed. People get mad over that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be like, damn, fool, these fools really got pissed instead of seeing the love homies putting out there for the hood and giving us some exposure that you probably really really probably never got. These fools get mad over that shit. They get pissed over that. Oh, bro, you tripping. Oh, bro, it didn't go down like that. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. You're good, homie. You're good. I feel you. I feel you, man. I feel that. I feel that energy. I feel it, you know? Nah, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. I lost my warehouse job. And then I realized I got some unemployment for a couple months. I said, you know what? I'm tired. This is what I'm tired of. I'm tired of settling for these jobs, bro. Right, bro. Youngsters, listen to this. You know why I had to settle for jobs like after prison, like settle for the bottom of the barrel when it comes to work? Because I'm a felon. You know, when you become a felon and you're in the system, the world doesn't work with you. So, meaning you're not going to be able to just get any job you want as a felon. Not only that, you're not going to be able to rent any place you want. You're going to have people give you a chance. So, that's been my situation since I got out of prison. I'm a hard worker, work ethic. Like, I don't mind working. But even with that, homie, settling for jobs that are going to hire me and give me a chance. And that comes with being somebody that has a background. So when I heard I got some unemployment, when I heard I got unemployment and I got 7 racks, 7 G's, I said, bro, I'm hopping on that. Forget trying to go look for another job. Forget settling. Let me go collect this unemployment for a couple months and then build something, bro, and figure out what I really want to do. Because my initial thing is to move. I know I always say that, bro, but I'm literally, I gotta leave the city to really step in the right direction and then come back. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I just got some time to really focus in and figure out what I want to do for the future, man. Go to school, check out thing or whatever it's called. Yeah, that's another thing I gotta do. I gotta go get this GED. I gotta get my GED and go to college. I mean, that's something that they don't tell you, bro. That's something I realize. Every trial and tribulation with street life and politicking, bro, everything, it will never be as hard as the mental that you have to go through, the mental gymnastics that you have to go through being a felon. Like war wounds and getting packed out and getting shot up and even prison, bro. Even all that. That shit was easy compared to the mental gymnastics you go through down the road. Because when you're 40 years old, homie, and you're still trying to figure it out, and you're still trying, and you want to be good, you really want to be a good person, and you're trying to figure it out, and no matter what you do, doors get closed in your face, and you don't want to, and you still get up with the smile on your face trying to be good, bro, but you go to a job that can just eliminate you any day. You understand what that does to a person's psychological, like the mental inside of them. Like, you just give up. You kind of just give up. Like, anybody would give up. Like, I'm done with this shit. I'm about to go sell some crack. I'm about to go pick up a sack. I'm about to go be on this block and serve, bro. Like, I'm just going to get this money. Because it's easy to do that. And youngsters don't understand that's what's coming to them. You're going to do prison time. You might get killed. But the mental thing, the mental gymnastics, you're gonna take on the burden of the mental gymnastics. That's gonna be the hardest thing you face, bro. Trying to be regular. Who can help you? What's up with it? I know a big guy who can help you with that. Yeah, we could get a GD going, bro. I'm down with it always, homie. I tried to get my GED multiple times, and I know people say it's easy. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta get past the math test, bro. I don't know what it is, the learning process, bro, or having a learning disability or whatever. That's gonna take the time. And I got so frustrated because I went to class. That's another thing is too, bro. I've actually went to a GED class. And I was like the oldest dude in the GED class. the oldest dude in the GD class. I'm like 38 years old, and these fools are all high schoolers. As youngsters that want to be in this gang life, bro, imagine that being 38 and having to go try to get your GED. But it's the decisions I made. I'm not blaming nobody else. It's my decisions. You know what I'm saying? Not doing that when I was younger, but I felt like a fool, bro. I felt like, bro, my old ass is really trying to get my GED right now. And it's funny to think about that, but you were spitting facts on that video. You be doing God's work. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. You came through. You came through on that video too, bro. And I seen I seen some people, angry people in your comment section. I just had to come speak on it a little bit, you know. Wasn't it motivated and long? Wasn't in long view or long view. I remember. Salute to it. You know, that's all we trying to figure out, you know. I tried to get my GED in the penitentiary, bro. I tried to. I did. I tried to get my GED in the penitentiary. But every time I was going in a good direction, the homies would get into it with somebody, bro. And it would just take me away from GED. Because like when you're on lockdown, you don't get a chance to go to programming. So that's what I'm saying. When you're politicking, you're gonna close your doors because of the people around you. Because when it's go time in prison and you're into it with somebody and there might be a potential chance you're going on lockdown, you think I'm gonna be like, oh, bro, you think you can just be like, oh no, homie, I gotta go get a GED test. I can't ride. Yeah, right. Fool, man. Yeah, Emily Griffith. Yeah, they cost a little bit of money. I might have to go try to figure that out, bro. I'm 29, bro. You think it's worth it? I'll say like this, Clips. It is worth it for you though, not for nobody else, my homie. For you, because if you ain't really accomplished too much in life, that will give you self-worth. That's why I'm doing it, bro. I mean, necessarily I don't need a GD, but to give myself self-worth and say, hey, you did that shit, bro. That's tremendous feeling for yourself. Don't let nobody take that shit from you. Hell yeah, bro. I'm 40 years old, bro. It still be a tremendous for me to get my GD, my bro. There's also testing facilities. Okay. Yeah, no, definitely, my homie. I might have, you know, and that's why I talk to the homies, bro, because you guys are always giving good advice. Or even a trade school, a 5-time convicted felon here and in Cleveland, but I gave all that shit up. Hey, salute to that, murda. That's what I like to hear, bro. I like that's more impressive than anybody in the streets, homie. You literally changed your life, bro. Not too many people could do that shit. 30s an hour, so you can do it. All right. I know a few places, you know. Nah, that's what it is, bro. That's what it is. You know, it's like I would be ludicrous because there's a lot of people that talk about this shit too. Like, bro, like, you know, these little youngsters they gotta realize it on their self. You can't change no youngster. But I think that comes from a mindset of either you're just closed off to like that possibility, or you are still infatuated with the street life. And everybody gonna have an opinion of view, but I'll say if I had somebody reaching out when I was younger to tell me this shit that I'm telling the youngsters, I might have went down a different road, homie. Somebody telling me authentically with love, homie, like you don't need to go down that road. You don't. Like there's nothing to it. And showing me that there was a different way, I would have went down a different road, homie. But there was none of that shit in my life, bro. Like, so that's my aspect of main goal, bro. Cause like I don't know why I would want to see a little youngster actually fall in that trap, you know? It's not a fun feeling, bro. It's not a fun feeling, you know, to realize this is what's not fun. To realize you gave 30 plus years, majority of your whole life for a cause that you don't gain nothing. You don't benefit nothing from the life. What do you benefit? You don't benefit nothing from that life. You one day wake up and you be like, damn, all that time I put in, I didn't benefit nothing, bro. I literally lost all that life behind politicking. What the fuck did I do that shit for? I'm already 40 years old. How many more years I got to live in this world? Now I'm trying to live normal. The cool part about it is too, though, in my era, you really had something you were pushing the politics for. If it wasn't your real brothers or your family, the hood was still structured strong a little bit. And even with that, it crumbled. But nowadays, there's none of that shit going on. All that shit's wiped out. All that shit is just smoke and mirrors. And if it wasn't smoke and mirrors, why do you have all these fools telling on each other? Why, if it wasn't smoke and mirrors, why, if it was such a solid thing in life, why, when there's an indictment on any neighborhood, you got multiple people that go tell? Because the code is not there, bro. If it was such a solid thing to gangbang, why are all these fools be the first fools that'll kill your ass? Your own homie would shoot you in the back, bro, if it was such a solid thing. Because it's not solid. It's not solid whatsoever. You know what's solid, my homies? And everybody that's been through some shit will agree. What's solid? Getting up and changing the direction of your life. Being an example to the next individual growing up. Taking care of your kids is solid. You ain't got to be a gangster, but you a man, homie. Like, being a man is the solid thing. Taking care of your responsibilities on a daily, that's the solid thing. You get more respect with that shit than just being a street fool, a gangbanger. Who wants to be a gangbanger, bro? What do you want to be a gangbanger for, bro? There's nothing. What? Just to be a tough guy? You want to be a gangbanger just to be known as you're tough? What does that do for you, though? You can be tough. Go join a boxing gym, bro. Go join the boxing gym. Be tough like that. Because the fools that say that they're tough is the fools that promote this drill shit body and shipping off, which any sucker could do. A sucker could kill you. Soft fools could kill. And they the ones that are pushing that they're tough. Who has the most bodies out here? But they're the weakest. They're the weakest fools. Because once they get around them real concrete jungle animals, them fools that don't give a fuck about any of that, the lifers, the fools that don't have nothing to live for, that literally are never going home, them same fools that were shooting fools, the ones you think is so solid, they the same fools that are in prison becoming housewives. Them same fools with the 30-round clip that can't defend themselves, and they're not really that type of person, really. They're the ones that you hear about in penitentiary. Damn, that fool got turned out. That's just the reality, bro. I've seen it too many times. I've seen it too many times, bro. The toughest fools, you see them on prison yard, homie, and they're not tough whatsoever. You see them fools like, damn, that fool was out there putting in work for a hood. This is what he's doing in prison. I'll give you one example. I know this fool all his life, right? He thought he was the shit out here. He was a little pretty boy fool. Didn't really have to go down that path, but he did. He had a lot of little females. That's what made him really cocky. And then he got into portraying a gang life. He was pulling out pistols, busting on fools out here. They got him on some footage of him putting in work and robberies and just promoting toxicness because he was feeling himself. Later down the road, he gets caught up for a case, right? They literally put him away. But what he does on the low, he towels on another case to get some time knocked out. He hits the prison yard, homie. And you wouldn't think this about this dude. I know him personally, so I really didn't think about it. I get to prison and I run into him. This fool is paying rent to a certain car, bro. Turned all the way down. And when I say pay rent, anytime he got money, he had to come off 10% of that sack to a certain car, bro. He was getting extorted. And I'm like, this is the same dude? He ran to somebody else for protection, bro. And you look at that and you're like, damn, homie, this is what a lot of these dudes were doing, paying for protection, bro. That's wild. That's craziness. Man, imagine being that dude. You got to look at yourself in the mirror. Remember when you were in prison paying protection. When I seen this fool recently, I'm not hating, but he changed his whole identity, bro. He got out here to the streets and he's a whole businessman now. I mean, it suits him right. That's what he should have been doing from the get-go. But and I know this. I know this of this dude. You can't deny it. I seen it with my own eyes. Yes. Reality, my homie. Cold hard killers, my homie. Go get, because they had that pistol. They had that pistol, right? Pistol be making fools. Pistol be getting fools killed, or fools will act like they're super, super with it because they got a pistol. And let's say they make a mistake and they kill somebody, right? Because they have to live up to now that image that they're some type of way. So then now they have to be forced to live up to that shit. And they end up killing somebody. Knowing deep down, they're not even that person. Just killed somebody behind trying to paint a narrative about themselves. But when you putting that shit out there, you kind of got to live by that shit. You kind of have, it kind of comes with responsibility. And now you feel like you're forced to actually put in work for that, right? You go to prison, bro, and get a life sentence, and you get on one of them yards with people like Marvin Gaye or old school Jimmy, Smitty, Hogjaw, the fools that turn fools out, because it's a reality. It's just the prison game. And when I say turn fools out, they look for the new numbers. They look for the new numbers that can defend themselves. And they befriend these dudes, and now you owe them sexual favors. They give you a candy bar or give you a shot of some coffee. And now they're saying you got it. You know, you have to pay for that shit. And I don't want money. I want some sexual favors. And you're in a cell with these fools too now? What would you do when these fools don't have nothing to live for? You have something to live for because you might still go home. These fools are telling you you're about to give them sexual favors. There's no way around it. And they're really willing to actually take your life behind this whole scenario. They don't have nothing to live for. Seen them multiple times over a shot of coffee. Your name was Henry, and now your name is Henrietta on the yard. Skittles, Patches, Shayla's. They got you doing your hair looking beautiful. It's prison, bro. And then you be like, that fool was a killer on the streets? Oh, wowzer. Or take that honey bun. Don't ever take the honey bun. And I know little youngsters, some youngsters be like, that would never happen to me. That will never happen to me. No, hell no. Well, let me tell you something about Marvin Gaye, right? Marvin Gaye didn't prey on the weak. You know what Marvin Gaye would do? Marvin Gaye would allow you to get strong. Marvin Gaye will allow you to get massive. He used to actually get his workout partners big and strong. He would befriend his workout partners. And you know what he would do after they started acting big and bad? One day he'll just get a hair up his ass and knock his workout partner out. And the workout partner will wake up and he'll be taking their manhood. So you think you're 120 pounds and it ain't gonna happen to you? These are big boys that were on the yard and they were getting knocked out. Wake up to this fool going in them. Reality. That's the reality, bro. So I don't want to hear that. Oh, it'll never happen. Like that happens a lot. That happens to many different people. Yeah, I got you. It'll never happen to me. Yeah, it's just wild, man. Don't drink the coffee. Don't eat the candy bar. Yeah, they're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell you straight off of They're gonna tell you straight off that, bro. Don't ever take the candy bar off the pillow. So when I talk about this, bro, like, nah, he died. Marvin Gaye died, bro. Listen to the words in detail that I'm literally telling you this for. You'll never have to go down that road, homie. You'll never have to go down that road. You don't want to ever be in a situation like that, bro. Like, nobody will be able to save your ass either. Your mama ain't coming to save you. Your cousins ain't coming to save you. Nobody gonna save you. You're gonna be there dealing with that honey bun problem by your own self. And if you're not tapped in and you're not part of an organization, people like that can have their way with you, bro. Or this scenario, right? And then I'll let you guys go. You're in the streets. You end up putting in some work, get caught up. You got to go do a prison bid. You get to the prison yard. You ain't even a banger, fool. You're not even a gangbanger. Soon as you hit some of them yards, every gang is gonna approach you because they're gonna try to draft you to the hood. Even if you're neutral, even if you didn't gangbang your whole life, every neutral fool's gonna get approached. They're gonna try to draft you to the hood. For most people, that's probably the most smartest thing you do is join an organization in prison, because if something happens, you got that protection and people to actually get behind you in any situation. Why I'm saying that is you get involved with the gangbanging, anything. You could get involved with any kind of gang in there. You go to war and your homies want you to go stab somebody up. You're getting out in 5 years. Your homies call direct hit. Hey, little homie, you got to go earn them stripes. You don't want to, but if you don't, they're going to hit you with a blade. Now you're forced to go put in some work, or some shit pops off with a riot and it gets pretty serious and you're involved now because you're in the politics. You stab somebody up, you catch a whole case. That shit gives you 30 plus years and you only had a 5-year sentence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's happened, bro. People putting way more time on their cases because they had to be in there and put some work. So, it's just a lot of things to think about, man. A lot of things to think about. That's just wild. Yeah, Marvin Gaye passed away, my homie. He passed away from diabetes. Yeah, he got sick, bro. But God don't like ugly either, man. He died a slow death. That fool's limbs started falling off of diabetes. Oh shit. Oh, I got me some more proteins, my homie. Damn. What you guys got going on today, man? What's good with the good people? What's popping with the good people out here, man? I hope everybody's blessed. Hope everybody's good. Hope everybody's blessed. I knew we were gonna get. I knew we were gonna get people talking about different things. I seen the homie and somebody that I respect from Bloods. He hit me up and he just like kind of broke it down like maybe it's not the right time, and I feel that. You know what I'm saying? I feel that. No disrespect to the Dom moves, no disrespect to anybody's family member. It's just a thing that happened in recent time, and it's something that the city's been talking about. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, it's a situation, bro. You know, but it's an unfortunate situation, my homies. You know what I'm saying? And like it's just mind blowing, homie. Because I always see this too, bro. I always see this, and this is another thing I see is that when situations happen like this, right? And somebody you know fully is with all the crazy activities and everything you see about this dude, you know, you say to yourself before that even happens, that fool's gonna die here soon. That fool is walking a thin line and walking in fire. And you say it all the time when you see shit like that. Like before he even passes away, it's like, bro, that fool puts himself out there so much. You just know it's coming. Death is around the corner, homie. And when it happens, it's not surprising. I said it with multiple people, not just that. You know what's coming. Let's not play like this was a surprise. There's no surprise in that shit. That shit was coming. So when it hits, it's like, bro, yeah, I already knew that. I already knew that. And I know sometimes it sounds like it's cutthroat, but I don't really have pity on that aspect. I don't have pity on that aspect. When you really full fledged pushing gang politics and it's all about rioting and murder and this and that, and that's what you want your identity to be about. There, you can't have pity. You just gotta acknowledge it and say he died for what he believed. He died for what he loved. I go back to myself, bro. I go back to myself all the time. I mean, and I was talking to my mom about this. I even talked to my mom about this. That's crazy. That's how deep it was. And I asked her, I said, when I was in my zone and I was the worstest time of my life with gang politics, if I would have got killed at that time, would you have got on the news and started painting a picture I was good? And my mom straight said, no. I would have said he was troubled. He was troubled by a lifestyle, but I couldn't paint a picture and say you were this aspect of an angel when I know what you were doing, you know? And that was some real ass shit because like that was a real quote from Mama Bear, bro. You know, and it was just like, damn, bro, that's just the reality, man. That's crazy. You know what it is. All right, my Radas. I'm gonna tap out, man. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Shout out to all the real ones out there, man. Box State Business. Um, you know what it is, man. Till the next one, homies. My high salute to everybody. Let's go.